If you want to save some money quickly, but you don't want to feel like you're cutting back on having fun and living your life, make sure you watch this video until the end because I'm going to be going over 10 ways that you can save $1,000 quickly. What's up everybody, I am Jaspreet Singh from theMinorityMindset.com where money minds rethink rich. Americans are not saving enough money. Just 40% of Americans have the means to protect them from an emergency like a leaky roof or needing to replace their tires, which means 60% of Americans, the majority of America, does not have the cash necessary to protect them from a leaky roof or having to replace the car tires without going into credit card debt or having to go to the bank and having to borrow money. Now, there's a lot more to becoming wealthy than just living smaller and cutting back expenses and saving your money and being cheap. I actually just made a video on YouTube where I talked about if being cheap can make you rich. So if you want to learn more about that, I will link that video for you in the description below and also for you up here. But you got to know how to take that first step. That way you can build your financial base. That way you can have some cash in the bank. And you know what? It really doesn't have to be as burdensome as just never spending any money and never having any fun if you know how to save your money the right way, which is why in this video, I'm going to be going over 10 ways that you can save $1,000 quickly. But before we get into that, I need you to do me a quick favor and smash that thumbs up button below, because the way the YouTube algorithm works, if you do not smash that thumbs up button, then YouTube is much less likely to show you and other people our financial news and education videos. And I'm gonna start by talking about why you need to review your bills. I'm a gym person. I love working out, and my gym membership costs me $70 a month to work out at my gym. But I noticed on my credit card statements that my gym membership wasn't charging me $70 a month, they were charging me $75 a month. And so I got kind of curious, what is this extra $5 for? So I called up the gym and they said that they signed me up for a magazine that I never knew that I signed up for, and that's why they were charging me an extra $5 a month. Now, I've had my gym membership for years, and I'll probably continue to have my gym membership for many years into the future, and they were just slapping on this $5 fee because they probably thought no one's gonna check their bills. Now, an extra $5 a month isn't really gonna change my life. I mean, maybe I guess I could afford another side of extra guac, but I'll get to that in a little bit. The whole idea here is you gotta figure out what you need and you gotta see what you're paying for. Chances are, if you pull out your credit card statement and you go through all of your bills, you're gonna find that you have subscription services that you do not need anymore, and you're gonna find that you're paying for things that you don't use. The simplest way that you can start saving some money is just stop paying for the things that you're not using anymore, because chances are you're paying for something that you're not even using. And when it comes to the things that you are using, like your gym membership, make sure you're only paying for what you use. Like if you got a gym membership, make sure you're only paying for the gym membership and not some magazine that you've never read in your life. Second, you gotta know the true cost of what you're buying. If you go to the mall and you buy yourself a nice $150 jacket, what is the true cost of your jacket? So many of you might be thinking at this point that if you bought a $150 jacket, the true cost is $150. But that's not the full story. Yeah, you paid $150, but I want you to really know what it cost you to get the $150. So let's say you make $20 an hour. So if you make $20 an hour, how long did it take you to make this $150? That would be what, 5, 6, 7, 7.5 hours of work to get this $150 jacket. But this is actually before taxes, because remember, Uncle Sam's got to take their cut with the IRS. So after taxes, it's actually going to cost you 9.5 hours of time to buy this jacket. Would you rather have the jacket, or would you rather have 9.5 hours of time? This is almost always one of the first calculations I have in my mind, because I always want to know, how much time is this thing gonna cost me that I want to buy? Now, I get it, you can have passive investments that pay you without you having to physically work, but you gotta know how much your time is worth, and if you know that, then you can calculate how much time this thing is gonna cost you, and then you can really ask yourself, do I want to spend this money on this jacket? So now you know that the true cost of your jacket isn't just $150, it's almost 10 hours of your time. But the second thing you need to ask yourself when it comes to the true cost is, what would this jacket be worth in the future if you didn't buy a jacket? Because what I want to know is, if I didn't buy this jacket and I invested this money, what would this money have become? Because if I invested the $150, this $150 in 10 years would be worth not $150, but $300. And in 20 years, this money that I would have spent on my jacket wouldn't be $150. It would be about $600. And in 30 years, this $150 that I spent on my jacket would have become more than $1.1 thousand if I had just invested the money. So now the real cost of this jacket isn't $150. It is almost 10 hours of my time, and it is the opportunity to make $1,100 over the next 30 years. Now you could ask yourself, do I really want to spend $150 on a jacket now? Too late, I already got it, Jasprit. One of the easiest ways to save money quickly is just to not spend our money. But the tough part about that is when we want something, we want it right now. And so what I want you to do is just take a step back before you go out and you buy that jacket on impulse, or before you go and you buy something that you don't need. Just take a step back and ask yourself, what is the true cost? How much time would it cost you to actually get that? And how much money is this going to cost you over the long run? Once you do that, I want you to follow the 24-hour rule, which says you want to buy something, great. Now just take a step back, wait 24 hours, and then decide if you really want to buy it. If you still want to buy it and you do these calculations, then go out and buy it. But if after those 24 hours, you thought about how much time it's going to cost you, and you thought of how much money you're losing out of in the future, and now you decided not to buy it, well, now you just save some cash by not spending it. Third, let's talk about eating out and drinking out, because there's a huge debate in the financial world about coffee. You have people like Susie Orman who say that you going out and drinking Starbucks is one of the dumbest things that you can do with your money. And then you have people like Ramit Sethi who say the opposite. He says that it doesn't matter if you spend $5 at Starbucks because $5 is just $5. It's not going to make a difference. Now, honestly, I can't relate to any of that because I don't like coffee. Coffee tastes like poo-poo. I don't drink coffee. I drink tea. If you go out to Costco and you buy their big pack of green tea, it's gonna cost you something like 24 cents to drink one glass of tea. Now, personally, I'm a big fan of nice teas because there's a difference between your kind of lower quality teas and your nicer teas. If you want a nice cup of tea, it is going to cost you somewhere between 35 cents to 50 cents if you make it at home. If you go out and you buy the same tea from a nice tea shop, it is going to cost you at a very minimum of $3.50. So clearly, if you went out and you made your tea yourself, you're going to save $3 every time you make your tea at home. But let's also talk about the food. If you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, you know that I love food, and more specifically, you know that I love guac. Now, if I go out and I go to Target and I buy an avocado right now, it is going to cost me something like 89 cents. Okay, if I go out and I buy this avocado, so I'm gonna draw you an avocado that looks more like a cookie than an avocado, but if I paid 89 cents for this avocado, I can make 4 sides of guac. Okay, now if you're like me and you really like guac, maybe this is just gonna make you one side, one avocado, one side, but let's assume that you can make 4 sides of guac from this one avocado. That means if you eat your guac at home, you are gonna be paying somewhere between 25 cents, I'm gonna round up here, to 89 cents for your side of guac. 89 cents if you're someone like me who wants to eat the whole avocado, 25 cents if you only wanna eat a fourth of that. Okay, you're gonna be paying less than $1 if you wanna get your guac, but if you go to the store, if you go to a restaurant and you wanna get a side of guac, it is gonna cost you at least $3 for a small side of guac, and you're barely gonna get a quarter's worth of guacamole. If you just make your nice tea at home, and I don't know about coffee, but tea is very easy to make at home. All you gotta do is warm up some water and put some tea leaves in there or put a tea packet in there. It is very easy. You don't need any fancy equipment. So if you just make your tea at home and you eat your avocado at home, you're gonna save $6 between the two. Now, if you do this 5 times a week, like many people do, 52 weeks a year, you are going to save $1,500 over the course of a year just by eating your avocados at home and just by making your tea at home. This is where I want to give you a little disclaimer because you know what? I like tea, and sometimes I do like drinking in a tea shop. I'm not one of those people who says, I never go out to the tea shop and drink tea. I like to have a lot of meetings over tea. I don't go to the bar, I don't drink, I don't do things like that, but I do like tea. And I have a lot of meetings over tea. So sometimes for the experience, I will go out and I will drink this tea. But When it comes to my daily tea, I don't drink tea every single day, but when it comes to my regular general tea, then I'm just gonna make it at home and I'm not going to the tea shop every morning to get my morning tea. This is where I want you to draw a line between consumption and enjoyment. If you're just going to the tea shop every morning to drink your tea and you're just putting extra guac in your lunch because you like guacamole, you are blowing money on things that you don't need. But if you're going out to hang out with your friends because you want to drink some tea together and have a good time, sure, go out and pay $3.50 for a tea. That's okay, but spending this money every single morning just because you don't want to brew it at home, that's a different story. It is okay to go out and have a cup of tea with your friends or go out to a restaurant once in a while, but it is different when you're talking about doing it every single day just because that's what you think is normal, because you want to go out and you want to eat a burrito and you want to get extra guac every single day. By the way, if you are eating in restaurants, just drink water. You are going to save a ton of money just by drinking water instead of ordering a Coke. One thing that I learned growing up in the Indian household is that everything is negotiable. If you're in India and you go out and you buy yourself some apples, you're going to negotiate the price of that. If you go out and you buy yourself a new shirt, you're going to negotiate the price of that. Okay? Almost everything is negotiable if you ask. Worst case, they just tell you no. One of the simplest and least painful ways to spend less money every single month is just to negotiate your bills lower. So what I want you to do is start by taking all of your utility bills. So your cable bill, your internet bill, your phone bills. Take these bills and now look at what your competitors are charging. Chances are that the competitors to the companies you have some lower introductory rates out there right now. Now what I want you to do is try to get the bill that you're paying right now down to your competitors' lower introductory rates. That way you're getting the same service at a lower price, so you're literally just saving money for doing nothing except making a 15-minute phone call. The way you do that is you're gonna call up the customer service number on your statement and they're gonna say, "Hi, I was wondering if there's anything you could do about my bill because I feel like it's really high." Now, they're going to say either yes, we can bring it down a little bit, or they're going to say no, there's nothing we can do. No matter what they say, even if they agree to lower your bill, I want you to push them lower. What you're going to say is, "Oh, really? Okay, I saw that your competitor so-and-so was charging only $25 a month. Is there any way you can match or beat that? I'd really like to stay with your company." Now what you just did is you suddenly put it in their head that you are considering leaving because their competitor is charging a lower fee. No company wants to lose a good paying customer to their competitor, especially if you've been there for a long time. So now what they're going to do is they're going to seriously see if they can bring your bill lower. If they don't bring your bill lower or they don't bring it low enough, that's when you want to ask to speak with the manager, because managers typically have more negotiating room. The key here for any of this to work is you need to be nice, because customer service agents are getting yelled at all day long by people complaining about their bills. If you are nice to them, they will be nice to you. This should go for any big purchase you want to make. Your home, even if you're leasing your home, you can negotiate the price of your lease. Your car, anytime you make a big purchase, make sure you negotiate it first. Fifth, I want you to move your savings. And that means two different things. As soon as you get paid, I want you to automatically move some money from your checking account, where your money goes into, to a savings account. That way you can't accidentally spend the money, because sometimes we feel that if we have cash in the bank, we should spend it. Well, if that money automatically leaves before you can touch it, now you're not going to have the urge to spend it because you're not going to see that money. So anytime you get paid, you need to automatically move some of your money to a savings account. That way you can't accidentally spend it on a new TV. Second, I want you to consider moving your savings account to an online bank that pays you a higher interest rate than a traditional bank, because if your money is saved at a traditional bank, chances are they're paying you next to nothing. If you move your money to an online bank, you should be able to get a much better return because online banks have lower fees. They don't have the same overhead and all the rent costs because they don't have those retail banks everywhere. So because they have lower fees, they can pay you a higher interest. Now, this higher interest is not going to substitute an investment and it's not going to make you rich. But if you're saving your money anyways, you might as well get a better return on your savings. That's what I do with my savings. I know that my savings are not doing anything except sitting there collecting dust, so I move my savings to an online bank. That way I can at least get some interest and get some money for my savings, because it's just sitting there doing nothing anyways. And if you do want to learn more about how you can save your money and get a better return at an online bank, our team has written an article on this on our website, theminority-mindset.com, and I'll also link this article for you up here and in the description below. Sixth, I need you to start shopping around for the right things, because when I say shop around, I don't mean shop shopping around for a new Gucci scarf. I mean shopping around for the services that you can save some money on. Your insurance, so this is your health insurance, your home insurance, your car insurance, all the different insurances that you have, your phone bill, your cable bill, and your internet bill. I need you to shop around for these 4 things every single year, because chances are these companies are gonna raise your bill every single year, and so you wanna make sure you're getting the best rate, because if you just stick with one company because you don't wanna shop around, you are going to get ripped off. So every year I want you to spend just half an hour shopping around. That way you can make sure you're getting the best deal possible. You can even negotiate the price of your bill lower like I just talked about, but you wanna make sure that you're not overpaying, because this is a simple way to save a ton of money. 7th, we all have things that are sitting there in a house that aren't doing anything. Like when I graduated law school, I had a ton of books in my room that were just taking up space and collecting dust. So I went out and I sold a bunch of my textbooks, and I made like $400 just selling the textbooks that were doing nothing except taking up space. We all have things in our homes that we're not using that are just taking up space and collecting dust. What I want you to do is take the things that you do not need and take them and sell them. Your kids' clothes, your old furniture, your old phone, your old TV, your old electronics, all these things have some value, and you can go out and you can turn these old things that are collecting dust into some cash if you just spend the time to go out and sell them. 8, pay your stuff on time. So this is one of my pet peeves. I cannot stand paying late fees, because when you pay for a late fee, you are paying for something that you're getting no value for. Like when you pay a $25 late fee, you are getting no extra value. You just forgot to pay the bill. And Americans on average are paying $250 a year in late fees alone. That's $250 that you're spending on something that's giving you no value and no return. If you just want to throw your money in the garbage, you might as well just mail it to me. Avoid paying late fees at all costs. Put it in your calendar, use auto pay, set reminders, do whatever you gotta do. That way you don't have to pay a $25 late fee. 9, you can use technology to help you save money automatically. There are apps out there like Honey and Piggy. I like to use Honey. And literally, as you're checking out, if you buy something online, Honey will come up and they'll tell you, oh, do you want to save $20 on your order just by using this coupon code? Yes. And so now you just save $20 by doing nothing except having this free extension that helps find you coupon codes to help you save money on purchases online. It's the same with using a loyalty program or a cashback program, where now you're just saving money by doing nothing except just using one of these free programs that are going to save you money because you use the free program. And lastly, if you want to save $1,000 quickly, what I want you to do is next time you buy something, I want you to ask yourself, would you rather have that sweater you want to buy or whatever it is you're buying, or would you rather have cash in your hand? If you'd rather make $150 or have $150 instead of having a sweater, well then you can just not buy the sweater and keep $150, because now this is $150 that you get to keep in your pocket because you just didn't spend this money on the sweater now. You got to keep the cash and you don't get the sweater, but at least you got some cash. By the way, in case you were wondering, I did not pay $150 for this sweater. I think I paid like $9 or $10 for this sweater because I bought it online on clearance. If you enjoyed this video, here's a video that I think you'll love, and while you're at it, subscribe to our YouTube channel and join our free finance and business newsletter. And as always, keep hustling. Inflation is when the value of your dollars go down and the price of living, the price of things, the price of your shopping, the price of your home, the price of everything keeps going up. That's what inflation is.